Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Ghost 4v4 S&D here. Of course, I've got myself, Lano, joined by Taylor Keating. And Taylor, we're hopping in here to our first semifinal matchup between Swua and a bunch of random numbers. OIOI, I'm not exactly sure to say that. OIOI, I have no idea. But,
OIOIOI.
exactly that. But yes, of course, we're going to hop into this one. We've got to actually to watch, we were able to actually spectate Swua a little bit earlier on in the tournament, where we saw Dito and co. absolutely start to light it up. And they're facing off against another very talented team. You've got Animal Priestess Skies and M-Shake. I've definitely heard of guys like M-Shake in the past. I've heard of Skies and Animal, of course, in the kind of S&D community. And, of course, you got Priesta, very, very well-known player. Played on teams like TGC as well as Cloud9 more recently. And I'm very curious to see how this matchup will be starting things off with.
Who are you favoring in this matchup? So obviously, so far it's not looking good for Priest's team, but who are you favoring?
Honestly, I'm kind of favoring the OIOIOI team, to be honest with you.
OIOIOI.
I'm gonna struggle with it the entire time, but yeah, those guys are a very, very talented group. I haven't really been able to cast over. I think I've casted over Skies and maybe Animal once. But I know how talented those guys can be. Sky is very, very solid player, at least when I've been able to watch him play in certain S&D tournaments as well in the past. But you also got to keep in mind, Dito, literally the man Dito from Swua, is unbelievably talented, at least so far in the tournament that we would be able to witness. Literally a hat trick here in round number one. Has not had a slow map in at least the tournament that we got to, or the series that we got to cast over him earlier. And I don't think that he's going to be slowing down anytime soon. I think if you are the side of Oi, you definitely have to be looking at him, a guy that you have to shut down at all times.
And Dito's strong again off the bat. Last time on Freight he was going off. This time on Freight he's going off again. I think this is maybe his map or maybe just his tournament. But Dito's been playing very well so far, and I fully expect him to carry this team, hopefully, to the finals.
Absolutely. Well, of course, at least picks off one. That one is going to be on Skies. Through more competitors now for him to face off against. Granted, Dito, the bomb
Dito,
down.
the 1v3.
You've been in 1-3s all night. And it looks like they're not going to get any
long.
easier, as M-Shake will be there for the pickup. So as rounds do go back and forth, it's from one side, Dito lighting it up, and on the opposite is Animal now sitting at 3-1. And I know that Animal, I don't want to say that he has an organization for World War II. I think he might be a free agent, but I know that he's also been trying to get in the respawn kind of line side, at least on trying to get on a few teams as well in the past. And he's also a very talented guy. I think he used to be a part of like the C2C clan, which was like coast to coast, which like a lot of guys were a part of that. Not sure if he still is or not, but you know, a lot of these guys have made some noise in the competitive Call of Duty scene. So like I said, that's definitely a reason why I'm favoring them. They've got some really talented SD players on this squad, and guys who I think they can definitely make some noise.
So how come you think Dito's getting in these 1v3 situations almost seems like 50% of the time?
I think it's honestly just based off the fact that he is more of like an AR player, at least for this team, as he actually just gets a fantastic line sight and can finish off the final player. But I think it's mostly just due to the fact that he is more of like a Remington player, at least from what I'm able to witness. And usually Remington players or AR players kind of hang on in the backside. So it's like his teammates are kind of dropping for that first, second blood. He's kind of hanging in the back. And, you know, over time, he obviously ends up trying to stay up and happens to be in those 1-on-3 situations. But that can honestly be, you know, the a positive for them in the end is that, hey, if his teammates start to pick it up, you know, if you start to see Equip, start to see Diabolic, BL-Fire, those guys with those SMGs, whoever obviously runs those for the team, if they can start to pick it up and make Dito kind of be like one of the lower, lesser players, odds are they're probably going to be seeing a lot of success just because of the fact that of you know, Dito not having to constantly go off for them to win a map. If they start to all get confidence under their belt, they're going to need everyone to be playing on a consistent level for them not just to make it far, but to even win this tournament. So might not be a bad thing if you know, the other guys start to maybe play a more aggressive SMG role and get some confidence under themselves.
1v3, Diabolic all by himself. Looking good here. And he gets picked off. See, I'm kind of torn because on one hand, Priest's team has a lot of S&D kids, and on the other hand, Dito's team has just a bunch of veterans with equipped, obviously. But it's weird because Priest's team is a little bit more aggressive, and Dito's team is BL-Fire and Dito definitely are players that kind of stay back and pick people off. So it's going to be interesting to see in this I think it's going to be very tight throughout all 3 maps if it does go to 3 maps.
Oh yeah, definitely has the case to be that. I think one guy that we can kind of highlight in this particular series, at least from the side of OI, has for sure got to be Priesta. This guy over Infinite Warfare definitely made a name for himself. Played on a number of different organizations. Started off on Panda, later found himself with like Mox, a very young, talented kind of group on TGC, as well as Exotic. And that team ended up making some noise. It ended up qualifying for the seasons. Actually got to cast a match they faced off against EG for qualification, and they ended up losing that one. But still, this guy has been very, very talented, kind of regarded as one of the rising stars throughout Infinite Warfare. And, he was obviously put in a very, big situation. A lot of people kind of rumoring the fact that he's actually going over toward FaZe. And that's a very big kind of status to hold. The fact that, like, rumors are literally spread around this guy joining FaZe Clan. And, of course, whether those rumors are confirmed or not, there hasn't been any major announcements regarding a fourth. Of course, I know it was today Enable was announced that he's going to be on EG, so that spot is open, to say the least. However, though, this guy, he's shown up over the last year, I think it's fair to say. I personally have been a little bit more critiqued on him a little bit, kind of giving him more, well, I think he has the potential. I don't think he's there yet. But he definitely, I think sky's the limit for this guy as far as overall ability is to say. And I'm very curious to see how he does perform when it comes down to titles like World War II, as he just hits an amazing sniper on Dito.
Yeah, I was just about to say. But Priesta is definitely top 5 players to watch coming into World War II, 100%. I think he's in that group with Arcides, Pristini, Mox, Llama God, people like that. He's in the Rising Stars group because his gun skill and one thing that I kind of noticed while listening to him from time to time, and then I also did an interview with Replays, was that Replays was talking about how mature the kid is for how young he is. He doesn't lose full. He doesn't get emotional. He kind of just stays even keel, like wise beyond his years. Like we're talking about some of these other players. He's got the full package. He's just a little bit young, and he'll definitely make a big impact in World War II.
Oh, for sure. I think it's fair to say. Of course, like, we'll have to see how that does kind of come into fruition. But I think it was an awesome kind of combination of guys who were on that Gosu crew lineup, in the middle of Infinite Warfare. Was the fact that you had Mox, you had, obviously, this guy in Priesta, he had Exotic, and he had Drama. I think regardless of Drama, I know he didn't have the best performances when he was on that team, and there were a lot of internal issues with him as far as a teammate and whatnot. But still, I think if that team honestly had a solid fourth, maybe even a veteran lined up, that squad would have had a number of different awesome, opportunities to really make a name for themselves. Just because you have, very talented guys who have awesome gun skill, plus you have the fact of awesome communication in 2 guys who you don't really see that very often in both Priesta and Mox. So I think he's honestly, like I said, a major guy to be looking out for when it comes into World War II, and someone who has the potential to maybe even be one of the, guys that we talk about after a few years, maybe even after the end of World War II, and say, yeah, this guy without question is a top 10, top 5 player in the game.
Something I want to point out is Diabolic's in this game, and Diabolic he's been creeping around for such a long time. He's always been like on the cusp of being a top.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. He's just been on that cusp. You know what I'm saying. So it's going to be interesting to see what Diabolic does with his career going back on boots on the ground, because I think he's more catered to boots on the ground, just because that's where it really was his bread and butter. It's going to be interesting though. BL Fire is another guy too, where he kind of fell off as well. There's so many players that kind of just dipped down, and then a lot of players like Priesta came back up in the Jetpack era. So it's just going to be so weird, man. There's going to be so many new players, but with a mix of like people like Stainville, like what? Like this is going to be crazy.
Yeah, Stainville Sharp lineup like that just got announced not too long ago is going to be.
It is nuts. If you think about that lineup, it's Stainville, Sharp, Neslo, and Wheats.
Yeah.
Like though that is nuts. That's nuts to me. And then they're going to be playing people like Pristini and Arcides. That's just. It's going to be definitely fun to watch this coming year.
For sure. I mean, the definition of veterans kind of meeting up with young guns is, I think, the title for what should be the new era when it comes to Call of Duty, at least for the start of World War II. Of course, looking at the round right now, 5-2 is the current lead for the side of OI, and Animal lighting it up, 12-3, absolutely having a fantastic performance right now, as it will be currently a 1-on-3 right now for Skies. The best of positionings, but he does catch off Equip from one angle. I don't think he actually saw BL Fire. Yeah, I think BL Fire knows his positioning. Diabolic gets the bomb down, and say if he enters in toward Fire, the door actually closes. Skies knows that he's left potentially in a spot to be dropped.
He have a pistol? I think he had a pistol. He had no chance. Huh?
Yeah. I think I know he had the thermal AR, but
Oh, he did?
yeah, I know he had that. I think in his back pocket.
Oh, he did.
But, yeah, it's kind of awkward position there. Of course, it is going to be Diabolic who just picked that one up, and I know we've kind of talked about Diabolic as well. One kind of interesting thing that I know we've kind of talked about regarding him, at least for the last few minutes, is that there was an opportunity actually during Black Ops 3. It was actually getting ready to head into Champs where there was a rumor going around that Diabolic was actually going to get picked up by Team Envious, the team who would later win the Call of Duty Championships for Black Ops 3. He was rumored to get picked up by that team, which is like crazy to imagine, just because, oh my god, Priest just hit an amazing snipe, I apologize. But yeah, there was a moment where actually at relegation heading into Stage 2, Team Liquid was actually up 3-0 versus one team. I forget exactly who it was. And they basically only had to win one, or I think it was H2K, if my mind is serving correct. But they were up 3-0 in best of 7. Only need one more map to qualify for Stage 2. They get reverse sweeped for the third time, I believe, in Call of Duty history. The second one ever, happening just before that one. And basically, they end up losing that entire series. And in that being the case, Apathy, who was on Team Liquid, loses, and they pick up Apathy, and they also pick up John, who was on LG, and they kind of discount Diabolic in that. So if you kind of think about it, if Diabolic gets picked up, and also the fact that Apathy ends up winning one more map of that best of 7, Team Envious most likely does not win COD Champs. So literally a best of 7 reverse sweep kind of decides who would have won COD Champs in some cases. I apologize for just going off on a rant. That stat always just absolutely surprises me. And always just won 6-3, I think, or 6-2.
And Animal went off, and I believe he had 13 kills.
I apologize, Animal. I'm a big fan of that kid, and very talented player as well. Didn't really get to highlight too much about what he was doing, but his score speaks for itself. Skies as well, 7 and 5. Strong performances from those boys as they close out Freight versus the side of Swua. And I think this was the map that we saw Swua win in map 3. Is that right, Taylor? This is the
I think so, yes.
Exotic and Priest, or not Exotic Priest, Exotic and
Pressini's
team on. So
yep.
At least a map that they're fairly experienced
comfortable on. Yeah, they're comfortable on it, that's for sure.
But when it comes to Sovereign, of course, a little bit closer range map. You're seeing a lot of attention, over toward B. I'm personally most likely favoring the side of OI again. What are you thinking?
I agree, yeah. It's a close quarter matchup again, and I don't... Again, Dito, BL Fire, they tend to sit back with those ARs. They're more comfortable in that situation, and I think we'll see OI come out with a victory on this one.
Well, we'll see obviously how that does come into play. Of course, only one more map separating the side of OI and their finals run. Of course, we're going to head to map number 2, Sovereign, when we come back. Welcome back, everyone, to the $500 Ghost 4v4 S&D Prime. Of course, it's myself, Leno, joined by Taylor Keating as we're hopping in here toward map number 2 of our semifinal, taking place between Swua and OIOIOI. Yes, the team names are that. I'm not just actually drunk or anything like that. I do apologize. But yes, those are the team names actually heading in toward our map number 2 of our semifinal, and it looks like things are already kicking off. M-Shake immediately left in a 1-on-3. Or 1-on-4,
strong A push from Dito's team, which was interesting to talk about because we were talking about how B is such a dominant area on this map, and they just got demolished. I think they just weren't expecting that.
Absolutely, yeah, definitely interesting hit to say the least. And Dito, final kill cam, yet again, the man, the myth, the Kenneth.
Dito's looking good, man.
He is. He's looking really strong, very, very strong. I've been very impressed by his play, really not just throughout this series, but throughout every single match that we've casted over him. He's been going off. And, when it comes down to a map like Sovereign as well, this one can play a little bit crafty. Like you said, when it comes down to that site choice, the color for either team, the strategy behind each round, having that veteran leadership. And basically all 3 of those guys, of course, not really super familiar with the clip, I know, kind of being known as of recent. You got a really talented Slayer in him as he's lighting it up 4-0 right now, alongside of 3 veterans who know the game inside and out. All these guys kind of played Ghost as well, as BL Fire and Diabolic will pick up the final 2. They know this map. They know how this one works, and you can never really count on veterans when it comes down to a high-pressure situation series.
Well, what's interesting to see is that Dito's team has 2 ARs, Dito and BL Fire, and then Priest's team has all vectors. Yeah. So it's usually you'd think that all the vectors in B would prevail, but these these ARs are picking them off one by one, and it's kind of flustering them a bit, I think.
Definitely is, of course. I know we said this earlier. No player yet for OI has gotten a kill after 2 rounds. So that definitely has to be changed. Priesta just happens to round the corner and does not spot that player coming from underground. Yet again, it's Dito lighting it up. And just around the corner will be another player. Pistol is out, but he doesn't check that one. Animal finding one on Equip, so at least some positives if you are the side of OI. But Dito is literally on the brink, either finding a kill or dying at any moment. And that player just happens to peek back around and he doesn't actually challenge this. Who is this in the back? M-Shake, what are you doing, friend?
He switched to his pistol, and he has an AR, so I don't know what he was actually doing.
It was just that you knew exactly where Dito was, and of course Dito's going to pick this one up as if I had any question as to that. But
Dito is...
It was just such
I don't know what he was
play.
doing. I was watching him, and I was kind of confused because he knew exactly where they were, but I think he just kind of got lost in translation.
Yeah, he obviously, he has to hear the shots coming in from Dito on the A site just because Dito reveals his position. And so I was constantly waiting for that player to come around the corner and finish him off because he has the pistol, might as well get the easy kill, but doesn't do that. And that leaves Dito in a position
I think it was
to
a problem that he dropped. I think he dropped, someone heard it, turned around and got pre-aimed.
Still.
But it looks like they're going to A again.
Yep. Another offside hit this time. Instead of OI. M-Shake on your screen, doing some damage, gets the assist there from Animal. Priesta as well, picking up another. And of course, Dito's out of the situation, so you like to think that it's a more likely round that they could win.
Yeah, they got a good chance. Then again, they got 3 players who are 4-1 right now, so.
Yeah. And they also have BL Fire, who's literally about to get this player off bomb, but no, does not get that. Nice cover fire coming from Skies. Equip is there for the challenge, and we got to highlight Equip as well. The one guy who's not necessarily as known as the other 3 players on his team, excuse me. But he's lining up 5-1, could potentially make that one 6-1, but no, he will drop there to Shake, who gets the bomb plant as well. But yeah, I haven't really heard too much about this guy Equip. I've heard the name in the past, but you know, very interested to see more players as time goes on.
Yeah, every time I tweet out certain players are playing in the match, he always tweets at me saying, "What about me?"
Oh, really?
just because we got big name players like Dito and Priesta in this, so it's kind of. I only got 140 characters, all right, 180 characters.
Not that many characters to work with.
But it's interesting to see that these A pushes are working. That's 2 times that the A push has worked. I don't know what kind of push this is. It's kind of a scattered, interesting play by Priesta's team. But
look at BL Fire actually. He runs solely on that rail and makes it through to enemy lines. I'm not sure if his position is known, and just as I say that M-Shake is there for the pickup, but still, if you are the side of OI, you cannot allow for players just to easily walk through your setup.
You see Equip just being that kid. He is a beast. Equipped. I am sorry for not tagging you in any of those tweets. You are a beast.
Oh, but M-Shake, nice little response there to try to peek around that corner. Of course, who else than Dito to finish off that one, as he is now currently sitting at 6-1.
He's going off this tournament. Really impressed by him. I'm really excited to see what he'll do in World War II after watching this.
Yeah, same here. But
then again, I mean, what do you expect? He was top 5 player in this game back in the day, so.
Indeed. And so they will still, of course, rocking that Remington. But in that last round, BL Fire just made a super easy push, totally made it behind enemy lines. And honestly, if you're OI in that situation, you got to kind of realize that, hey, like, we got to play strong defense. We can't just because we're down in the game, or down in this series, rather, we can't start to, or in this map, excuse me, we can't let the opposite side start to make us look silly. We can't make them break our setups as quick as that. Because this one is definitely not out of the question for them to win.
Yeah, the one thing I've noticed is that Dito's team kind of stays together a bit more than Priesta's team, and wow, Priesta shoots him through the wall with the AR as well. That's crazy. Again, notice the gold camo comes in clutch. I'm telling you, man, this gold camo, something's up.
I don't believe it.
Look at this, man. He's the beast.
Yeah, Priesta killed him by not even shooting at him.
Notice his clan tag says Reap. Shout out to Replays.
Oh, okay. The call out.
Awesome. But there has been rumors that Replays might be going to FaZe. I talked to him last week.
Yep. Yeah.
It'd be interesting.
Replays Priesta as new additions.
What do you think about that? that people have been talking about for FaZe. That's an interesting lineup.
You know, being totally honest, I'm not a big fan of it. Just to be totally fair, you know, like what I said, I like the composition of guys because I think it's a solid team, and then, you know, I think. Like, I'm a big fan of Replays. I think he's an awesome player as far as, like, you know, what he's obviously accomplished, but you also kind of keep into consideration as well. You know, he was a very hyped up player for Echo Fox coming into, you know, the kind of championship qualifications as well as even, you know, CWL champs for Infinite Warfare. But the guy hasn't really played a whole lot. You know, to be honest, he hasn't really played a whole lot. Plus, you have, you know, a guy like Priesta as well. He's young. You know, you don't know how he's going to do for World War II. Not that I'm discounting any players who were you know, known more in the jetpack era now coming into World War II, but to be honest, that's a massive risk, I think, for a major organization like that to kind of substitute out. They lose Clayster. It's rumored that they're losing Gunless as well, and they just lose Enable. I mean, that's a lot of overall experience that you're losing. You know, granted, you have a great dynamic duo in both Attach and Zuma, but to be honest, I'm just not a big fan of that lineup, and I know a lot of the competitive fans out there aren't really excited about that either. You know, granted, a lot of people have been saying, you know, it's not a good change. It's like one of the worst changes in Call of Duty history. I'm not saying that, but it's definitely not one that I would be super supportive if I was a FaZe fan, just because of the risks that I feel like you're taking heading into a title like World War II, which to me is still very, very out there as far as what the strategies, what the overall outcome, how that game is even going to play is still undiscovered. To be honest, I think it's kind of silly. Roster's already making changes when we've only played a beta. So that's just my opinion.
I mean, I think the one thing that people are kind of forgetting is that people think it's a mixed match roster. It doesn't fit together. But the one thing that FaZe was kind of missing was, yes, Enable was the captain. He was kind of making those in-game leader type moves. But I think Replays is that real respected captain that he's already kind of taken Priest under his wing in the off season. They've played a lot of doubles together in the past. They played a lot of wagers in the past. They play in wagers right now. I think Attach and Zuma already have a great connection. So I think those two duos having nice connections. One, Priesta is going to be that slayer for them that they really needed, and Replays is going to be that captain that I feel like it has a chance. I've seen a lot on Reddit and a lot on Twitter that this is like the worst move ever, or this is a dumb move, or FaZe are being idiots. But I want to give it a chance because Priest is young and he's a great player, and Replays is a world champion. Okay, like people forget that though. So you never know.
Oh yeah, you definitely never know. As Diabolic actually going for a little bit of a ride, hops in toward Nest and shuts down Shake from behind, and now has a potential to try to close out this game. Of course, we'll get back to our talk in just a moment. We're going to see if this one can be closed out from BL Fire, but no, he's going to get dropped. So nice play there from Diabolic. He's currently 8-4 along with 4 plants. So this guy's doing damage when it comes down to the objective work. You see his score, 820 score. The next closest guy is 390, and they're only separated by 1 kill. Goes to show the objective.
He's doing work. 4 plants, man.
If Specialists were in this game, he'd earn a heat wave like 5 times. Probably not. I'm just kidding. That would be awful. I think Diabolic actually rocked heat wave, if I remember correctly. Not that that matters in any way, but I think he did.
Yeah,
I had like a whole paper, like a Google sheet. Yeah, I had like a whole Google sheet with like who ran what payload or what specialist. That was Black Ops 3 payloads and Infinite Warfare. Yeah.
Well, you're obviously gonna miss them, so I feel bad.
Yeah. Not at all.
But it's a 5v3 situation. Do you think they're going to close this out or what?
Yeah, I think they definitely close it out. It's just a matter of getting to the right side and kind of making things work. And honestly, you got to let the man equip Slay. At least for right now, this is his map. He's been dominating in this one. We've obviously seen him have some fantastic shots. And there's one that I missed, unfortunately, that you said was pretty nice. But this guy's connecting right now.
Ooh, Sky with a snipe. Interesting to have a sniper on Sovereign, but he connects. Can he get a second? Ooh! Are you watching Skies?
I'm not watching Skies, but I saw the hit marker pop up, and Skies finished him off with a pistol.
And I've been talking about how not to use snipers on Sovereign, and this dude pulls and snaps and gets a hit marker on Equipped. Wow, I was not expecting that, but man, you gotta stay in tune with these quickscopes, man. Come on.
I do. Well, it's a 1-on-3, so I gotta go with the final player. So.
Hey, well, yeah, you're right.
But yeah,
you're not wrong.
Sky's obviously doing work with that sniper, and it looks like yet again another offside hit toward A.
Offside hit with a sniper as well, so he's gonna watch down that.
Well, I like that play a lot, but I think Diabolic spots that one. He's gonna immediately call that one out to his teammates, but he still has 2 guys lingering over toward B, both Equip as well as BL Fire. Not convinced whatsoever, it seems like. But bomb goes down. Now comes time for the retake, and Animal has a great advanced position. However, Dito shuts down one. If you're M-Shake in that situation, you can't challenge that one out.
Yeah, you can't.
So a big loss, and now Animal gets picked off as well. Priest and Sky's now left in a position to try and hold.
2v3. I think BL5 is a little lost right here at B-Dom. He might get picked.
Definitely has the potential to be, as Keel's trying to go down, and now Sky's left all by himself, pistol in hand. And up close here in B-Dom, shuts down BL-Fire. Only has a few more seconds left to try and hold off on. And now Equip left in a position to try and close this one out. But yes, he finds the gunfight. He'll finish off 10-7, along with the most important stat, the defuse, as well as the round, as this one will be closed out in just 10 rounds. A 6-4 victory, as that is a huge win to propel them to at least a map number 3. That one going to be on Warhawk. But just when we start to say it, one guy has to kind of pick it up. Dito still has a pretty strong performance, goes 7-6, but just above him, Equip 10-7, and also Diabolic 9-6 with 4 plants. Those guys definitely picked it up when they have to. This is what I was saying about this lineup, man, is that Dito, he's obviously the main slayer for this team, at least for this particular tournament. But once his teammates start to get that confidence, when they start to play well, everyone has to play at a consistent rate. And when they do, they are going to see success. And I feel like that's exactly what this team at least did in that last map.
I was interesting to see him challenge that on that last, as Equip was on the bomb. He probably should have waited a little bit longer, but it is what it is, and we're going on to map 3 on Warhawk, where Dito's team took a 6-0 on Prestini's team, I believe.
I can look that up and see. What was it?
I know Dito's team had a 6-0 on Warhawk, so it should be interesting to see. They got those ARs, and those ARs really work on Warhawk, so I'm fully expecting Dito to pull this out.
Absolutely. Of course, I can't. There's so many papers that I've taken notes on. I'm not exactly sure. I'll look that up in a little bit. But, guys, yes, we're going to be heading to a Warhawk Search and Destroy for Map 3. Swua and OIOIOI. Who will win it? Let us know in the chat. We'll be back. Welcome back yet again, ladies and gentlemen, of course, to the Ghost $500 44 S&D Prime. It's myself, Lando, joined by Taylor Keating. And, Taylor, we're hopping in toward map number 3 between Swua and OIOIOI. It's time for some Warhawk. One map that we actually haven't been able to watch too much tonight, just due to earlier maps not really having that one, and some quick gameplay in some prior matchups as well. But I got to know your predictions coming into this one. Are you favoring OIOIOI, or are you looking towards Swua to potentially close out this map 3 and move on?
I mean, I want to say Swua because we did see them play so well on Warhawk previously earlier in the tournament. But this OIOIOI team, man, they're some scrappy dudes.
Yeah,
there's some good
definitely.
S&D dudes. It's going to be interesting to see because Animal went off. He's been going off.
Yeah.
Skies has been playing well. Shake's been playing well. Priest, honestly, maybe underperforming, and they're still very close to winning this.
Well, look at Priest's point of view. He actually has the golden USR out right now, and I know how much you love golden guns. Guaranteed no hit markers if you have the golden sniper rifle. But you gotta hit your shots though.
Cursed.
Yeah, you gotta hit the hit the shots though. You gotta get the reticle on the enemy player.
You gotta shoot the gun.
You gotta do that. Yep. Fortunately, not gonna work out for him. Diabolic's there for the sniper of his own. And actually, not too used to seeing Diabolic actually put the sniper rifle when it comes down to really at any moment during his career. But either way, able to find that one along with an extra pick. Now leaves them in a man advantage. Besides, Skies could actually quickly change that one. Knife up close. Not going to work out. Knife to a gunfight. Not one that works out high quality of the time. And now M-Shake 1-on-3. He will get picked off. And back-to-back rounds now. This one going over toward the side of Swua. I feel like I'm saying Swan.
It is Swua.
Definitely not Swan.
Swua.
Equip. 2-1. Imagine if Equip and Attach played on the exact same team. Like Equip and Attachment. It's like the same thing. I don't know. Like a synonym of each other.
Again, Landon?
Yeah, I am.
Trying to do punt.
I wanted the team to like all be synonyms of like the same thing. Like Equip, Attach, Apply. Like, that would be amazing. That would be awesome. I would love that. The puns would be unlimitable.
The puns would be unpunnitable.
Yeah, there you go. Nice one.
Yeah, there you go.
Ooh, Equip.
I'm trying.
Tossing out the nade. Does get hit marker, so he at least knows that there are a few players lingering in the back water tower. Finds some accident shots. Nothing coming of it. Regardless, the B-bomb site should be one they could take very shortly as long as they get that one down. But Diabolic finds one. Animal through the smoke. Finds another. quickly turns around. I immediately go to his perspective, and he has that pistol toward the back line side. Up close fight. Diabolic wins that, and now a 3v2 advantage toward the side of Swua for now.
It's 3v2, Priesta and M-Shake. I think this is an easy one for Swua. 2v2, 2v1 now. Priesta all by himself. Got the gold. He's got the gold vector though.
Oh,
this
God.
could give him a good advantage.
I don't know how many.
Don't down him now.
Must be nice.
Ooh. Don't down him now, baby.
Priesta literally starts to turn away before the shot even goes through. He's feeling that confident. But him
Gold
now versus
vector,
Diabolic. Baby. Big situation right now for both of these players, especially being in a map 3, an elimination match. And Priesta is going for the sneak defuse, but Diabolic is here for the pickup regardless. A strong win there for Diabolic because he's now led up to 4-1. Steven.
Diabolic's been playing pretty well too, so it's nice to see these older pros that kind of not necessarily like been off the scene, but they kind of dipped down.
Yeah, it's like a hiatus, I think it's fair to say, yeah.
Pretty much, yeah. It's nice seeing them back on boots on the ground, and even though it's an online tournament, it's still nice seeing them play well.
Definitely, definitely. Well, I believe that was a pre-stun from, actually no one from the side.
Interesting to see. It looks like Swua is everyone's at A. It might be a full flank. What's going on?
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure. They might have kind of like a high risk, high reward to kind of push everyone
on one
towards
side.
that A site, but they, like I said, they could turn this one into a flint. There is one player here in the back lines. It's going to be Priesta. Shuts down one. That one can be a Diabolic. Finds the second as well. 2 big kills. He does get traded out in the end, but still, things starting to take place. Equip actually finds a major pick on Animal, so now a 2-on-2. All of Priesta's work is now down the drains, but Sky is trying to do some damage. It's now left up to Equip in a 1-on-2 scenario. Spots one on the bomb site. Can he finish up the gunfight? But no, not going to be home, and Skies with the big finish. Now having a game of his own. 5-2 for him, as he's showing he can do it, not just with the sniper rifle, but with the Vector at long range as well.
Interesting to see Dito pick up a Vector on that round. He wasn't using an AR, which we hadn't seen him play at all this entire tournament.
So looking now here into round
and
5.
And he's back with the Vector again. So it's interesting. He's switching it up, and I'm not sure why.
Not exactly sure. Looks like potentially the reason why. Maybe they give that one to well, who is rocking it? Looks like, what has Equip got? No, just BLFire. Actually, just watched the flank with the Remington, the only player to have that one on this site. Maybe just prefers the close range engagements when it comes down to B, but regardless, Animal lightening it up. Only for the moment, though, Equip able to shut him down just after that. So a big pickup there if you are in Equip's position. As BLFire, who was on that flank, hasn't really advanced his position too much, but due to playing passively, he is going to be at this cut and is at least going to get gifted 1 kill. That one on Skies now. So a 2-on-2, and Equip still does have that bomb in his hands, and BLFire, due to playing passively, this could actually work out very well for him. He's literally only moved, you know, a few meters forward in the overall scheme of his positioning, but as Equip drops, this is the one thing that kind of is unfortunate about BLFire's positioning, was that it's great as long as Equip can stay alive, but since BLFire's been playing pretty passively, he's now left in the back line side. Actually, player goes to challenge that. Priesta goes for the challenge. Granted, he wins the gunfight, but imagine if BLFire was able to tag him up a little bit, especially with that AR.
Yeah, he had the gun advantage, but he was hurt, so he probably called that out. Easy kill by Priesta.
Yeah. Just kind of a situation that I wouldn't have challenged. Of course, I'm not Priesta by any means, but still just from an outside perspective looked a little bit risky. Regardless, it works out in a round victory, so 3-2 currently in the lead for the side of OA, as they will now be on the offensive.
We see Dito again with the Vector. Should be interesting to see if he's had 2 deaths in a row with the Vector.
The aggression hops inside of bricks. A great challenge. Actually finds the player who was behind the other guy. Actually, Animal was the one to get tagged up. So it could have been a 2-piece, but Dito ends up finding the player due to the awkward ADS from behind.
I'm kind of confused as to why he switched it up. He's 3-6 right now. He was shredding on every other map with the AR. It's I'm wondering if he thinks he needs to be more aggressive, or it's kind of confusing at this point.
Interesting strategies being brought out here for this map number 3.
And then we even see BLFire with a Vector as well. So They're changing their whole game. This is completely opposite as what they did on Warhawk on the last time we watched them.
Diabolic. Before I can even utter the words, Jake able to finish him off. Finally getting a kill on the board after 6 rounds of play, but one that equaled out to a round victory in the end. So 4 rounds to 2. This is a huge round coming up if you are the side of Swua. Of course, it is currently sitting at 4 to 2. So imagine 5 to 2 and imagine 4 to 3. Totally different scenarios and only one round that separates those two possibilities. And I feel like this is one that Swua almost has to win because being down and only having 2 rounds to a team who's already at match point, it's going to be very difficult to bring that one back.
Offside A. This should be interesting. There we go. That's one down. This should be an easy. They're pretty much set up. If he gets his bomb down, this is looking good for Swua. As Diabolic plants the bomb. Yep.
Backside. Actually gets a peek through the smoke. Can he finish up the gunfight is the question, but no! Awkward ADS there onto Diabolic, and he'll end up paying his life for it in the end. So a 2v4, a retake that's needed, and Animal finds one. Sky's on the opposite end, ends up taking out another. Dido and BLFire just need to stay alive, and now Sky's left all by himself. They just need to hang by. Don't challenge anything you don't have to. And Sky's with that thermal Remington up close. This is going to be awkward for him, and he shouldn't.
Just wait it out.
Yeah, does not work out for him. So 4 rounds to 3, a round that I said that has to go in Swa's way. Ends up working out for them, and I gotta say, that's a very risky play to go over toward A, just because in prior rounds we have seen a lot of teams, or at least in this particular map that we've seen a lot of teams kind of force a lot toward that opposite side.
Well, I think they thought they were struggling. They needed to change it up. So it obviously, that's what we usually see. I think teams, when they start to get down and they start losing rounds over and over again, they're like, all right, let's switch it up and let's go to the offside.
Ooh,
as a big stun. Yeah, that was wild. Should be interesting to see because everybody else is scattered on the other side of the map.
And what could work out well is you're going to see the full 4-man flank come in. Priesta, men who's watching that flank. Granted, there are a few who are going toward drug. Spots out one and immediately goes for the fire. Had Priesta known that all of those guys were going to be on the flank, he would have definitely saved his fire for a different fight. Granted, M-Shake trying to hold the backside, has the pistol out now, going for the challenge. Can he finish up the gunfight is the question. Doesn't fit the challenge that. So it looks like Dido will live to see another day. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Dido staying up. 3v2 advantage to Swua for now. And Dido actually just runs past that to receive the shot. So now he knows exactly the positioning. And that is a very smart play for Dido. Granted, he doesn't finish off the kill, but he slides through that corridor just to make sure that player would fire forward. Earns the positioning and then tries to fire just shortly after that, but still a defensive hold, 2-on-2, and Sky's gonna have to get that bomb now.
He's got it down. 2v2 situation. M-Shake with a pistol, which is interesting. I'm not sure why. Dido though, he's got that vector, and BL fires on the white truck. Takes one out. This should be an easy 1v2 situation with a defuse for them. You just need to find him, and they do.
Yep.
Strong plays by Dido on that round. He was really smart. Didn't challenge. Kept that almost like a rat stuck in a rat trap. He had Skies in there. So smart plays by Dido.
Very interesting term of events now. As it obviously has been back-to-back rounds for Swua. They were down 2-4. And they've now brought this one back to an even playing field heading into round number 9. Another offensive one here for the side of Swua. And the question is, how do they make this push? I was going to say, do they go over toward A? Of course, you see a little bit of attention shown here from M-Shake. He's going to go and swap back to most likely a Vector or a Remington. But Priesta ends up dropping BL Fire. When you are on offense, already losing a man, and it's going to make things a lot more difficult. They almost have to find this second pick. It looks like a shot's begin to come forward. Diabolic involving in Summon. It looks like a team kill coming in. Sky shuts down Animal. That's a gift if you are Swua in that situation, especially already being a man down. 3-3 now, but just as I say that, Sky's coming from the flank. Picks off one.
But the Dido and Diabolic. They got a team up right here. 2v3. He just got a vector. Diabolic's got a vector. The bomb's on the other side. They got to pick up the bomb. I don't think the other team knows that the bomb's down. Oh, good kill by Diabolic. 2v2 situation.
Great reaction coming in. And Tito's going to spot one from behind in the box. Can he find it? Yes, nearly shuts down Priesta.
Wow.
M-Shake.
They just need to find him.
Left in a 1-on-2. A guy who has definitely struggled in this map. All of his teammates at 8 kills. He's just at 2 and 5. Has to do the damage.
They don't see him.
He spots one on B, and yes, he's actually going to play this one and try to pick up the bomb carrier, but no, Dito was going to be there watching his teammates flank. That was a very smart play from M-Shake in the end. I think every player would have done the exact same thing in his scenario. Tries to use the good trigger discipline to wait for the other player to peek around and finish off the final 2, but no. Dito was there. Great positioning.
Smart plays by Dito all around on this game. He started off slow, but he's picked it up.
Absolutely has. As it's been a 3 rounds in a row swing for the side of Swan. Yet again, another
You think they're going to close out?
I think they do. I really think they do. I think they close it out here.
Yeah, the momentum's on their side. It's a full flank again, I think.
But Priest is here. A similar scenario to what we've seen in 2 different spots, both of them going over towards Swua. We'll see how the side.
And Dito gets that first blood.
Well, he can defend. It looks like another one dropping as well. Animal gets the bomb down, however, and now M-Shake is back here. He's behind enemy lines. He has to at least find one player to make this one more even. Shuts down one. Here comes the challenge. Needs to go big, but no, not going to happen. Dito's there for the cleanup, and now it's left up to Animal in a 1v3. He just got the bomb down, but can he make sure that it explodes? Can he make sure that he picks out the final few players? But no, someone's on the defuse already. Finds one, but can't find the second, and that defuse is going to go through. It's going to be a victory here in round 10, as 4 rounds in a row will secure a final spot for Swua and our Ghost $500 4v4 S&D Prime.
Dito started out 3 and 6. He ended at 12 and 6. Unbelievable plays by Dito. He played so smart towards the end of those rounds.
Dito is without question, at least so far in this tournament for me. I've been able to watch every single matchup. The MVP. He has been playing lights out. Like there was that one round that we were obviously talking about where he's kind of tempting with that one player who was in I forget what that building's called exactly, but kind of like that brick building just outside of B. And
Antique?
Yeah, Antique building. And he was just kind of rotating through. Knew that player was going to shoot his weapon just toward those stairs, and he knows exactly to peek up. Granted, he doesn't end up finding the kill in the long run, but he at least knows exactly what's going on at all times. And that just goes to show...
He controlled
exactly.
the
He controlled the engagement. And that just goes to show the veteran play that comes from a lot of these guys. But, yeah, veterans win out in the end.
You don't always have to get the kill. You got to control the map, control the play. You dictate the pace. If you don't...
Yep.
If you don't think you have a good shot on him, but you think you can trap him, you might as well, and it will end up working out for him. I'm unbelievable though. 3 and 6 to 12 and 6. Dito going off.
Yeah. Major performance there coming in from Dito, of course, as we get ready to head to a commercial break and load up our finals matchup, which we'll try to get word from our producer as to how the other semifinal is going. Of course, we do have Swua as major contenders to potentially take this tournament. But of course, we do want to shout out our sponsors, let you guys know about a giveaway that we're doing. Major shout out to Origin PC, Acquire Clothing, Scuff Gaming, and Zowie, a brand by BenQ. Of course, major thank you to our sponsors for making tournaments like this one happen. Of course, live here from the UMG studio. If you guys are interested and want to enter into a giveaway that we're actually doing for the month of September, feel free to obviously type in the Twitch chat right now, type in !giveaway, where you will be greeted with a link where you can win a number of different prizes. We've got 2 copies of World War II, UMG Scuff, UMG Prime, as well as UMG credits to give away. Guys, when we return, we will have the finals of the 4v4 Prime S&D tournament here on Call of Duty Ghosts. We will be back with that matchup.